one at a time to the podium, and I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of the room. If we can start with Giovanni Manjarres to the podium and Tiffany Weiland to the chair.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your name and date of birth?
My name is Giovanni Manjarres, and it's May 16th, 1981.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of narcotic drug possession, both are Class 4 felonies, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference April 15th at 8:30, an evidentiary hearing April 16th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. It does look like you currently have some pending charges, and you're currently out on felony release. Because you're out on felony release when you were picked up for this offense, you are being held non-bondable. Your hearing set on April 16th at 1:30 is the time set to determine if bond will be set on these charges. All of this information will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, sir?
Yes, ma'am, because honestly, I'm innocent on this second one right here. I didn't have anything to do. I was doing wound care on my face, and I didn't have anything to do with anything that they're charging me with at all. I didn't. I was hoping to just be dealing with my first case still. Me and my friend Olivia, my girlfriend, we weren't doing anything other than sleeping and getting ready for the day.
So at this point, you have not been found guilty of these charges. So if you have any information you want to provide to your attorney, you will meet with your attorney on April 15th at 8:30 regarding
That's so
this case.
long from now, ma'am. I mean, seriously, can I not be like released on you know?
Because you're out on felony release on another case, I can't release you on these charges.
I was following the program up to the letter. I was doing everything that you guys have asked me to, and I have been staying sober and everything up to the day. And I have been following the program. I have been doing everything that's been asked of me. I am continuing to wish to do that, but like I'm not being allowed the chance to do that. This group of individuals, they have been harassing me and chasing me and until they finally find something to put on me. And honestly, most of it's been falsified. I did not have any possession of anything. It's all falsified. I'm not joking. It's bad. It's bad out there.
Okay.
They straight up look for you and hunt you down just to mess you up, your life over. That's all they want to do, is harass the homeless. And unfortunately, right now, in my mind, in my case, I am homeless. But like, it's temporary. I'm just looking for shelter. And I have the means to get out, but I'm just looking for a way to get out. And they won't let me have one. They just keep harassing me. Is there any way that you could be lenient and just let me out, back on the program? Put an ankle monitor if you want on me.
The issue is I don't have that option. Because you were out on felony release, the law requires me to hold you non-bondable tonight. It's not...
Can you shorten the term that I'm unbondable so I can...
So the next hearing available is April 16th, and so that's the time where the judge may be able to... They will be able to release you or set a bond at that time. That's when it'll be determined, but it's not within my discretion tonight.
That's 9 days from now, correct?
Let's see. Today is the 9th, so we're here on a Wednesday. It's exactly a week from today, so it's next Wednesday.
Okay. That's unfortunate for me.
I understand.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If you'll grab your paperwork from the officers. Tiffany Wieland to the podium. One moment, ma'am. And Mr. Lopez to the chair. Good morning, ma'am. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Tiffany Wieland, 11/25/1985.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like you have 4 cases on the calendar here this morning. It looks like we have 3 cases that are failure to appear warrants that were issued for you. I will affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you in each of those cases, and you'll have a hearing on April 15th at 8:30 in the morning, and that will apply to all 3 of your currently pending cases that you have. You do have a cash-only Well, let me see if it's cash or secured. One moment. You have a secured appearance bond of $2,500 in each of those failure to appear warrant cases, but it does look like you're also here on some new charges, and that is for 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, a Class 3 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have some hearings on your new charges. It will include a status conference on April 15th at 8:30, an evidentiary hearing April 16th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. Because you were out on felony release on those other 3 cases when you were picked up for this new offense, you are being held non-bondable on your new charges. So the hearing set for April 16th at 1:30 is the time set to determine if bond will be set on these new charges. So although you have a bond on the other 3 cases, I wouldn't recommend posting it at this time because you'll still be held non-bondable on the new charges. I'd wait to find out what's going to happen on this case first, okay? Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, and then Mel, can we reprint number 30? If you'll take a seat out there, we'll get you your paperwork. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lopez to the podium and Ms. Sanchez to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Yes, good morning. Angelo Lopez, November 4th, 1996.
Thank you, sir. And do we have counsel on the line for Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Judge Devin Montgomery with the law offices of John Phoebus on behalf of Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, ma'am. I can faintly hear you. I'm not sure if there's anything you can do to turn up your microphone. And while you do that, do we have the state on the line?
Yes, Your Honor. George Kellman from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Lopez, it looks like we're here today on a new Superior Court case. It is for an offense date of March 1st, 2025. It does include 1 count of failure to stay at an accident when there was a death or an injury, a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony. It does look like you have counsel who has entered their appearance for all further proceedings, so I will go ahead and note that in here, and I won't appoint counsel to represent you since you've hired your own attorney. Ms. Montgomery, do you intend to discuss probable cause or release conditions or both?
Release conditions, Judge.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So I am going to find probable cause, and I'm going to give you a couple of hearings. You're going to have a status conference April 15th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. Next, we're going to discuss your release conditions. Mr. Kellerman, would you like to put the state's recommendations on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. According to the facts in the Form 4, Mr. Lopez was the driver of a car with 2 passengers of a vehicle, not a car. And he lost control of it, and rather than rendering aid or calling for help for his injured passengers, he fled the scene, and he was apprehended later. One of the front seat passenger, I believe, has suffered less severe injuries and is presumably going to recover. The rear seat passenger is non-responsive in the hospital, and his survivability at this time is unknown. So the state's requesting, since he fled the scene and showed no indication that he was willing to take responsibility for what had occurred or to address any charges, the state's requesting $250,000 bonds. State does not object to that being secured appearance. And the reason for that is that this may very easily become a homicide case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kellerman. And Ms. Montgomery, would you like to put your recommendations or requests on the record?
Yes, Judge. The defense is asking for the court to impose a $50,000 secured appearance bond. Reason being, and I think weighing most in favor of this request, is the fact that Mr. Lopez arranged for a self-surrender when he became aware of these charges. The state's position that he showed no indication of taking responsibility is directly contradicted by the fact that he has self-surrendered and coordinated that with the detective in this case. I noticed in the Form 4 there was a comment about making plans to leave the state. I think that also is directly contradicted by the fact that Mr. Lopez is here in state and coordinated his self-surrender when he became aware due to officer's response. I believe it was to his mom's home. That's when he became aware of these outstanding charges. He contacted me, I contacted the detective, and then yesterday afternoon, just after noon, is when he showed up to turn himself in. I also don't want to dive too deep into facts, but there is comment in the Form 4 about video of this incident. I do think that's important because there's context to why Mr. Lopez did opt to leave the scene. There were bystanders when this accident occurred. On at least one of the videos, you can see Mr. Lopez exit his vehicle. He actually goes over to the passenger side to check on his passengers. But importantly, there is at least one witness who is being very verbally aggressive towards him. It's a very hostile environment. He begins to assault Mr. Lopez. I do not and cannot comment on whether or not that's on the video, but Mr. Lopez began to fear for his safety based on the situation he was in. As he was trying to get away from said individual who was assaulting him on scene, he actually was struck by a vehicle of another bystander. So someone attempted to run him over when he was just trying to get away from a situation that he felt unsafe in. So he did ultimately leave the scene, but I think context here is significantly important. It wasn't a situation where he just dipped. There was no one around or anything like that. He feared for his safety, and who knows what would have happened had he stayed on scene. Additionally, just to provide a little more information about Mr. Lopez, he has no prior felony convictions. He's a young, intelligent man. He graduated from the University of Arizona. I believe he had academic scholarship while he was there. He's employed here in Arizona. He's been doing IT for about 4.5 years. Born and raised here in Phoenix. Mom's here, brothers are here, stepdad is here. He has no prior failures to appear. He's obviously retained counsel, and judge, for these reasons, we do believe that the $50,000 secured appearance bond is appropriate. He is open to release to pretrial services with anything the court deems appropriate were he to post that bond, including ankle monitoring.
Thank you, counsel. So I have reviewed the facts of the case as well as the prior criminal history. I do note what Mr. Kellerman indicated, which is that one of the passengers is not doing well and may not survive. However, if that happens, we're likely to see you again in here on some new charges. So for purposes of this hearing, I'm going to set a secured appearance bond of $100,000. You will have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with, and you'll need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of any bond that you may post in this case. All of this information will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, Mr. Lopez?
No, ma'am.
All right. Does Ms. Montgomery? Do you have any questions?
Judge. No, thank you.
Okay. And Mr. Kellerman?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You are free to disconnect at this time. And Mr. Lopez, if you'll step up, there's your paperwork. If you'll step to your left, you can take a seat out there.
Yep, on the front left row.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Montgomery.
Judge.
Can I have Ms. Sanchez to the podium and Mr. Stavola to the chair? Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Ashley Nicole Sanchez,
And your date of birth.
95887.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like you have two cases on the calendar here this morning. The first one is a new Superior Court case.
Yes.
It does include one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or a dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, and one count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You'll have a status conference April 15th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $50,000.
Okay.
If you post bond, you have written conditions of release. It will include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. You must obey the terms of any order of protection that is issued or will be issued in the future. And it looks like you're also on probation, so you will need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You have a second case on the calendar. Because you are on probation, it is a Term 1 violation when you were picked up for this new offense.
Yes.
I will appoint counsel to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing April 16th at 8:30.
Okay.
You have a $50 bond on this case, and again, conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours.
Okay.
All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Yes. Is there any way that I could go non-bondable? Because I have little kids that I have to get home to. My kid's dad wants nothing to do with them now. They've already missed 2 days of school. He wants absolutely, and my parents are going through a divorce right now, so they're having to deal with lawyers. I have to get home to my kids. I'm the only one that takes care of them. And this will give me time to be able to set up things for them in the future for whatever happens. I got to get home to my kids. They're already missing a ton of school. Their dad, literally, my mom called him to go get him. He's recorded. He wants nothing to do with the kids. Let DCS take him. He's done. He wants, I can't, my kids mean more than that to me. And I'm done with their dad, obviously, but I mean, I can't not be with my children. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'll get a job. I'll figure everything out that I can to be able to move forward and get this stuff handled.
Do you reside with the defendant, or excuse me, with the victim?
Yes, but I will be going to my mother's.
Okay. So if you do need to get any personal belongings, then you can contact the police department for a civil standby.
Yes.
Don't go to
No.
the scene of the crime without having
Yeah.
police with you. As far as the bond, there are 15 factors I have to take into consideration when I am setting that bond. And so the bond will remain tonight at the $50,000.
It's how much?
It's $50,000.
50?
Correct.
Oh, geez.
It is secured, meaning you can use a bail bonding company, which is about 10% plus collateral. But you will have to post that in order to be released from custody.
At all until the end of my...
It could be reevaluated in the future. You'll meet with your attorney on April 15th at 8:30, and you can discuss that with him if you haven't posted it at that time.
Okay, so it would be like $5,050 total?
Plus collateral.
Plus collateral, okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, if you'll step to your left, I'll hand you that paperwork, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Stavola to the podium. Ms. Blatchford to the chair. And officer, can you ask if Mr. Warner is ready or when he'll be ready? Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Michael Stavola, 1993. December 15, 1993.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of aggravated assault impeding breathing, also a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference April 15th at 8:30. And a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $50,000. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. You are not to possess any weapons, and you must obey the terms of any order of protection issued or to be issued. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
I do. The victim is my spouse, and she does currently have all of my funds. So how do I go about that?
You may need to contact family members or a bail bonding company to see if they can assist with that.
Is there any possibility that I would be able to allow access to my phone to retrieve phone numbers?
They will not allow you to have that.
Okay. Is there any way that we could oppose the bond? Because I am the sole provider for those children. I'm the one that is financially responsible for them.
So again, I do have to review 15 factors in the statute, and right now, based on the allegation in this Form 4, as well as the weight of the evidence, I do have some concerns about your danger to the community and to the people that were involved in this incident, and so the bond will remain at the $50,000. Again, you may want to contact a bail bonding company to see if they can contact family if you don't know their phone numbers, or you can contact them directly if you know anybody's number.
I understand.
Okay? If you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Your Honor, is that $75,000?
No.
No, it's, let me see. His is $50,000.
Michael Stavola?
Yeah, I think the documents got printed before I was complete, and so I think you may have a handful of incorrect ones.
Yeah, we'll bring it out to you with everything. Did you have another question?
I do regarding disorder protection.
I'm sorry, you can come back over here. What were you saying, sir?
I do have a order of protection that was served from May 1st, 2024. And during the time when this was made, my children were under the custody of my mother, who is the plaintiff. And both of their names are listed, or my two oldest children are listed on the order of protection. Is there any way that can be removed? Because I do have custody of my kids.
So unfortunately, we're not here to address that today, so you would have to address it in that case number.
Okay.
Okay. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Warner to the podium. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Samuel J. Warner, April 3rd, 2002.
Thank you. And counsel for Mr. Warner, can I get your appearance?
Yes, Judge. Good morning. My name is Faisal Ullah. I represent Mr. Warner for today's hearing only.
Thank you, counsel. And do we have the state on the line?
George Kellerman from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Good morning, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. It looks like we are here today on a grand jury warrant that was issued. This grand jury warrant is dated March 24th, 2025, and it's for an offense date of November 5th, 2024. It does include one count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, and one count of DUI, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Because your counsel has entered a limited notice of appearance, I am still going to appoint an attorney to represent you for your future hearings. If that changes, they can file an entry of appearance, and then whoever you hire will continue to represent you. Okay, sir? I am going to give you an arraignment hearing in the downtown Superior Courthouse on April 16th at 8:30 in the morning. Next, we are going to discuss your release conditions. Would the state like to put their recommendation on the record?
Your Honor, there's a grand jury warrant involved. It was issued March 24th of this year, which was less than a month ago. So the state requests that the initial appearance court simply affirm the $50,000 cash bond on the warrant. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. And counsel, would you like to address the court regarding release conditions?
Judge, may I ask if it's your practice to affirm bonds issued by grand juries, or do you entertain requests to have that modified? Typically, IA commissioners don't.
That is correct. It's my practice to affirm any bond in a grand jury warrant, as I don't have any additional information other than what is issued in that warrant.
Well, to the extent the court would consider modifying it, and I recognize what the court's practice is, I would urge the court to do so. This seems highly irregular, Judge, because it does appear that Mr. Warner was in court on another matter on March 24th, when apparently this grand jury warrant was issued. I would just request that the record show that we would like to reserve our right to urge a motion to modify release conditions eventually when the case gets to that level. But to the extent the court can modify it, we'd welcome it, because he's here. And it seems irregular that when he is present in court in one building, in another building, the grand jury is issuing a warrant for his arrest.
Thank you, counsel. I appreciate both the state as well as Mr. Warner's counsel today. I am going to affirm the cash-only appearance bond of $50,000. If you do post bond, you'll have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complaints, or witnesses. All of this information will be in your release paperwork. Does anybody have any questions?
Not from the state. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Warner. If you'll step to your left, or counsel, did you want to speak to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If you can use that room again, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Kellerman, thank you for appearing this morning. If you're not appearing on anything else, feel free to disconnect at your convenience.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Blatchford to the podium, and Mr. Escobar to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Tanisha Blatchford, 3889.
Thank you, ma'am. And it does look like we have 5 cases on the calendar, and it looks like 4 of them are failure to appear warrants for hearings that you previously missed. It looks like it was a probation revocation hearing you failed to appear at. I will affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing on April 16th at 8:30. That applies to the 4 failure to appear hearings. In each of those cases, you have a cash-only appearance bond of $1,500. You also have some new charges here this morning, and that is for 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you on this case. You'll have a status conference April 15th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. So between your 5 cases, you have 3 hearings coming up, and they're 3 days in a row. All of that information will be in your paperwork. On your new charges, you have a $50 bond. So between the 5 cases, it's a total of $6,050 cash appearance bond. If you do post that bond, you'll have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with. It will include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours, and then you'll need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid a future failure to appear warrant and forfeiture of that bond, okay? Did you have any questions, ma'am?
No.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Escobar to the podium and Ms. Parker to the chair.
Can you pull your arms out of your sleeves, please? Your full name and date of birth.
Richard Padilla Esquivel,
And your date of birth, sir?
8186.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on 2 probation violation warrants. They've alleged you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'll appoint counsel to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing April 16th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250 in each case for a total of $500. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you need to comply with, to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Parker to the podium, and Nicholas DeHall to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Jacqueline Gloria Parker, 8/14/76.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you, and you'll have a probation revocation hearing April 16th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $300. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, ma'am, they'll give you that paperwork. Nicholas DeHall to the podium, and Evelyn Tapia to the chair.
Nicholas. Let's go. There's a bottle right there. You're going in, you're next. There's a bottle right there. Right up there, give your full name and your date of birth. Right up there on the podium. Your full name and date of birth.
Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Nicholas Alexander De Jole, August 16, 1383.
Thank you. It does look like you're here on a failure to appear warrant related to some drug charges you have.
Yes, ma'am.
I will affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you. And you'll have a status conference April 15th at 8:30.
Yes, ma'am.
A preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30.
Okay.
You have a secured appearance bond of $250.
Right.
If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you need to comply with. You need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid a future failure to appear warrant and forfeiture of that bond. Did you have any questions?
No.
All right, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Evelyn Tapia to the podium. Mario Callo to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Evelyn Nicole Tapia, 7982.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 2 counts of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 1 misdemeanor. For purposes of this hearing only, I am only finding probable cause as to the criminal trespass. That does not mean the other charges are dismissed, though. They may test the substance that was found and move forward with those charges. I will appoint an attorney to represent you and set a status conference on April 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 28th at 8:30. I am releasing you today to pretrial services. You'll have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with, including not returning to the scene of the alleged crime. You'll also get an envelope with your paperwork. It will include instructions that require you to call pretrial services once you've been released. And make sure you do that and then attend those hearings to avoid a failure to appear warrant. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, ma'am? All right, if you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Mario Callo to the podium and Ralph Flores to the chair.
And your hand off. Take your head off, put your arms to your sleeves.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Mario Carlos,
And your date of birth?
0203-1994.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3, 4, and 5. I'll appoint counsel to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing April 16th at 8:30. I'm releasing you today on your own recognizance at your promise to appear at that hearing. You have written conditions of release you need to comply with that will include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of this information will be included in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? All right, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Ralph Flores to the podium and Romo Ward to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Ralph Flores, July 3rd, 2004.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new justice court case. It does include one count of failure to stop on a police command, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. However, due to the nature of your charges, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. I am going to set an arraignment hearing in the Country Meadows Justice Court, and that will take place on April 24th at 8:30. I am releasing you today on your own recognizance. That's your promise to appear at that hearing. You have written conditions of release you need to comply with, and then you'll need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid any failure to appear warrants. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, sir?
So I don't have to bond out to be released?
Correct. You just have to promise to appear at that hearing on April 24th.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, sir? Okay. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Ward to the podium. Mr. Cabrera to the chair.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Romel Ward, 10/18/1962.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like you are here on a new justice court case. It includes one count of driving with a license that was suspended, revoked, or canceled, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and one count of knowingly displaying a false license plate, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. However, due to the nature of your charges, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You will have an arraignment hearing in the El Centro Justice Court on April 24th at 8:30. I'm releasing you today on your own recognizance that you're promised to appear at that hearing. You have written conditions of release you need to comply with. You'll need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid a failure to appear warrant.
Yes,
All
Your
of
Honor.
that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
I am
Mr.
being released today, right?
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera to the podium. And Mr. Aguilar to the chair.
And you're going to go off.
Hello.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Edgar Cabrera, December 20th, 1985.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a municipal court warrant coming out of Goodyear Municipal Court. It looks like it relates to potentially failing to pay some fines or attend some classes for a disorderly conduct charge in 2022. Due to the nature of your charges, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. I'm going to set an arraignment hearing in the Goodyear Municipal Court on April 23rd at 1 p.m. I'm releasing you today on your own recognizance at your promise to appear at that hearing. You have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with, and then you'll need to ensure you attend that hearing so you don't get a failure to appear warrant issued. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Mr. Aguilar to the podium and Mr. Juarez to the chair.
You need to pull your arms up, sir.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Aguilar, 1878,
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. For purposes of this hearing, I am not finding probable cause today. That does not mean that the charges are dismissed. They may test the substance that was found and move forward. So I still will appoint an attorney to represent you, and I'm still going to give you some hearing dates. You need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any warrants, okay? You'll have a status conference April 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 28th at 8:30. Dates, times, and locations will be listed in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Can we clear the courtroom for the next one?
Oh,
Thank
no. Here it comes, guys. Here it comes. How is everybody doing this morning?
Okay.
Hopefully you guys are doing
Okay, everyone stand up, please.
Hopefully you guys are doing
Except
good.
for Diego. Staying on your front. Everyone stand up, please. Mario, wake up.
Wake up.
Judge, line up, let's go.
It's time to go. Let's see what scumbag type of activity they have going on this morning. And just a heads up, most likely it's going to be something bad, awful, some despicable stuff, if you will. Let's see who's in the chat right now. We got, hey, what up,
Thank you,
Amanda?
Officer Diego Juarez to the podium, please.
What up, Gino?
Good morning,
What up,
sir. Can I get
Monica?
your name and date of birth?
Yayo Juarez, May 22nd, 1996.
Thank you, sir, and I apologize for mispronouncing your last name.
No,
It does look like we have 2 cases on the calendar. The first one is a new Superior Court case, and it does include 1 count of public sexual indecency, a Class 5 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference on April 15th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $25,000. If you post that bond, you will be released to pretrial services and equipped with electronic monitoring. You'll also have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with. It will include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, and contact your probation officer within 72 hours. However, you do have a second case on the calendar, and that's a Pinal County Superior Court warrant for a probation violation. So I am going to appoint counsel in that case as well, and you'll have an arraignment hearing in Pinal County on April 14th at 8:30. And in that case, they're holding you non-bondable. So although you have a bond on your new charges, I wouldn't recommend posting it because Pinal County is still holding you non-bondable. So until you know if they're going to set bond on your probation case, I would hold off on posting bond on your other case. So April 14th is in Pinal, April 15th and 17th is here. Pinal will extradite you back to Pinal for their hearings, okay? Do you have any questions, sir?
How exactly does that work? Is that just, would that be 2 separate, like, sentences or terms I would have to serve?
Yeah, so you'll have your probation case in Pinal, and then you'll have your new charges here in Maricopa. Depending on how everything works out, and if you do end up having to serve time, they could run concurrently, meaning you're serving time and it applies to both cases, but that's in the future. We're not there yet. You're not found guilty of any crime as it relates to the new charges yet, but that's a potential possibility.
Okay. And the Class 5 felony is the new one, correct?
Say that one more time?
The Class 5 felony is the new charge?
Yeah, the new charge is a Class 5 felony, correct?
Okay.
That's the current charge that the state has prepared, okay? Anything else?
No,
all right,
no,
if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Thank you, sir.
That's probably the least of his
Case
concerns
number
right there.
1. Name is B-R-A-I-E-N, last name P-R-I-D-G-O-N, date of birth January 4th, 2002. Will proceed as a house call due to being disruptive. We are here on a probation violation warrant. I am going to appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing on April 16th at 8:30. I am affirming the warrant, which indicates he will be held non-bondable at this time. If anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. Case number 17, Eliezer Olivares, date of birth September 5th, 1986, is here on a new Superior Court case for 1 count of shoplifting, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing counsel to represent her. This will proceed as a house call due to her being unable to function. She will have a status conference April 15th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. I'm setting a secured appearance bond of $2,500. If bond is posted, she'll have written conditions of release to comply with, which include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. If anything changes after I meet with her, I will update the written record. Case number 18, Ryan Macenti, date of birth November 27th, 1982. Will proceed as a house call due to being combative. We are here on a new Superior Court case that does include 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 felony, 2 counts of aggravated assault, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference April 15th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 17th at 8:30. I'm setting a secured appearance bond of $500. If bond is posted, he'll have written conditions of release he'll need to comply with, including not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. If anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. Case number 20, Robert Watson, date of birth October 5th, 1994, will proceed as a house call due to being in isolation. We are here on a new Superior Court case for 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 5 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I will appoint an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference April 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 28th at 8:30. I am releasing him on his own recognizance. That's his promise to appear at that hearing. He will have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime and no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. All of this information will be in his paperwork, and if anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. That concludes our 5 a.m. calendar, and we will now stand in recess until 8 a.m.
All right. Hey, so I want to go ahead and thank everybody for being on here so early. I'm normally not on this 5 a.m., but I am gonna be. I do have some time on my hands, so I want to go ahead and take advantage of the Connecticut Board of Paroles. I am going to be participating on that one. It should be starting in about 15 or 16 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream right now. I'm gonna go ahead and set up for Dade County, if you will. So we'll go ahead and start off with that. We're gonna have Dade County. Dade County normally starts a little bit late. I think I've never seen it start at 6 a.m. But I'm going to go ahead and get the stream going, and then I'm going to go ahead and set up the Connecticut Board of Paroles. Anyhow, hey, guys, I'm going to go ahead because I'm running out of time, and I got to make sure the audio and everything's working before I go ahead and get this show on the road, if you will. Anyhow, hey, I do appreciate you guys. I am Collect Call James. You are watching You Have a Collect Call From. And like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it lights out. And with that, I am out. A rato.